All right, so what's today? The 25th? And we are going to talk about distance. Probably ought to unfreeze that. Distance and midpoints. Did I share this, you e-learners? Are you on this screen?
Yes.
Distance and midpoints? Hello, one more time?
Yes.
Okay. All right, the distance between 2 points. Is the absolute value of the difference of the coordinates. So if you've got a segment and point P is at x sub 1 and point Q is at x sub 2, then the distance is equal to the absolute value of whatever x sub 1 is minus whatever x sub 2 is, whatever those values are. You all right with that? So now we're going to find the distance between some points on this number line. And we're going to start over here at -7, and that's going to be point A. And B is going to be at -6. C is at -4. D is at -2. E is at 2. F is at 5. We're going to find each measure. First thing we're going to find is, boy, that's a tough one, AC. The distance from A to C is the absolute value of -7 minus -4. All right, -7 is your x sub 1, -4 is your x sub 2. They teach you all to keep, change. Up and down for yes, left to right for no. Good. Anybody got a calculator yet? TI 30XA, good. In your calculator, you push the 7 and the negative sign, and then you push plus and 4 and you hit equals. And the calculator says -3, but what's the absolute value of -3? What's the absolute value of -3? Say +3. Very good, +3. All right, let's find the distance from C to F. From C to F. It's going to be the absolute value of the value at C is -4 minus the value at F, which is 5. The absolute value, that's 4 negative minus 5. That's the absolute value of -9, and the absolute value of -9 equals +9. Let's try F to B. FB, try it on your own. I'm going to do it, but I'm not going to say anything, and then you can look up and check your work. Y'all good with that? Up and down, left to right. How about we try this one? Let's see what happens if we just try. I'm going to put this down. This. I'm going to write 2 minus. I'm going to put an open box. And I'm over here, I'm going to say 12. So what am I asking for? Somebody say G, the coordinate of G. All right. Well, you know the coordinate of E is at 2, isn't it? It's right here. And you know that the distance to G is 12 units away, right? So what are the coordinates of G? What can the coordinates of G be equal to? What's G? Where is it? What's its coordinate? What's 12 units away from E? Good. It would be 14 out here, wouldn't it? So G could have a possible value of 14. What could its other possible value be? Because can't there be a point 12 units away? So what would its other coordinate be? You know, I'm so proud of you for trying. So if G was down here, look, if they're 12 units apart, right? From 2 to 0 is 2, right? And what's left? 10. So G could also be down here at -10. All right. Say again? Well, it's just the concept of if you're only given one of the, I don't even think this is going to be a question in your assignment, but I just wanted to see how many of you kind of understood that if something has to be 12 units away, what is 12 units away from E to the right, and what is 12 units away from E to the left? All right. So 14 is to the right, and -10 is to the left. That's all I was trying to get at. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the distance formula on the coordinate plane. So the distance between 2 points on the coordinate plane is your distance formula. The distance between the 2 points is equal to the square root of your x sub 2 minus your x sub 1 squared plus your y sub 2 minus your y sub 1 squared. And if you have a segment on the coordinate plane, let's say this is your segment on the coordinate plane. Here's your x sub 1 and your y sub 1. That's the x value and y value at one of the points. And then your x value at the other point is called x sub 2 and y sub 2. And to find the distance between those 2 points, you substitute these values, the x and y value at each point, into the distance formula. So if we're going to find the distance here, and let's say down here at this first point we're at 2, 1, and then this other point is 9, 7. What I like you to do is to label the points first. It doesn't matter which one you call the first point or the second point. That doesn't matter. So I like you to do this. I like you to say, here's my x1 and here's my y1. And then here's my x sub 2 and my y sub 2. And I think that helps you to stay more organized when you're substituting. And everything that we do in here is about eliminating mistakes. Because one little mistake anywhere in this formula and you get the distance wrong. And when you get the distance wrong, you get the problem wrong. All right? And in a 20-question quiz, you can only miss 2 and get an A. So that's 2 mistakes. Okay? So every time we do something, we're trying to do stuff that eliminates mistakes. So now we take the formula and we substitute these values into the formula. So the distance between these 2 points, I don't know, maybe the points are A and B. That doesn't matter. The distance between them is equal to the square root of our x sub 2 is 9 minus our x sub 1, which is 2, and we're going to square that. And we're going to add it to our y sub 2, which is 7, minus our y sub 1, which is 1, and we're going to square that. So this distance is equal to, what's 9 minus 2? Squared. 49. You can use your calculators. You should be using your calculators. You should just type 9 minus 2 equals, and then 2 buttons above the 8, there's an x squared, and you push it. 49. And then you take 7 minus 1 equals, and you push x squared, and it says 36. And now the 36 is still in your calculator. So you could just push plus 49 and hit equals. And your 85 goes under here. And now the button next to the x squared, to the right of the x squared, it looks like this. Looks like this and this. You push it. And you should get 9.2195. So I'm going to go 9.2. Now, on your calculators, I would like you to push this series of buttons. The green one, which is second. Then I would like you to push fix, which is the period button down on the bottom below the 2. Do you see the word fix written on the back on the calculator? And then I would like you to push 2. Second fix 2. Second fix 2. What that does is that rounds everything 2 decimal places. Rounds 2 places. All right, you can set your calculator to round it to wherever it needs to be rounded. Second fix 1 rounds it 1 decimal place. Second fix, whatever number you type in after you push second fix, is how many places your calculator will round your answer. Got it? All right, very good. So let's move on to the midpoint formula. If AB, and we're going to put a segment symbol above that. If segment AB has endpoints at x sub 1 and x sub 2, then the midpoint has the coordinate x sub 1 plus x sub 2 divided by 2. The middle of a segment is just the average of the 2 endpoints. If you have a segment and your segment is AB, and A is at -5 and B is at 13, the midpoint would be -5 plus 13 divided by 2. So that's 5 negative plus 13. 5 negative plus 13 equals, that's 8 divided by 2, and that's equal to 4. So the midpoint of these 2 points right here, your midpoint would be equal, or would be at 4 on the number line. Now, this formula works a couple ways. Just make sure you got this, that M equals x sub 1 plus x sub 2 divided by 2. Because just kind of like we did the distance when we were talking about the distance formula, and I gave you the distance and one of the points, and you had to find the other point, you're going to be given the midpoint and one of the endpoints, and you're going to have to find the other one. Okay? If you're given the midpoint and one of the endpoints, and you have to find the other one. So let's say A is at -5 and M the midpoint of AB is at 12. A is at -5 and M, the midpoint of AB, is at 12. What is the coordinate of B? So we go back to this formula. And now we're given the M and we're given the X sub 1. A is your X sub 1. M is your midpoint. You need to find the other coordinate, right? You need to find B. So just take this formula and substitute. The midpoint is at 12. So you just say 12 is equal to, A is at -5. So it's -5 plus, you can call it X sub 2 or you can call it B. I'm just going to use B, divided by 2. Does everybody understand that concept right now? Because it's a fairly simple concept, but people get really confused when they're given an end and they're given the middle and they have to find the other end. Just plug it into the formula and you're just going to be solving for something other than M because you know what M equals. So multiply both sides by 2. These 2's cancel. And you got 24 equals -5 plus B. And then you're going to add 5 to each side. So 29 is equal to B, which is your other coordinate of the segment. Okay? All right, and then let's talk got a few more things to talk about. Let's talk about midpoint on the coordinate plane. Midpoint on the coordinate plane. Now you've got an X and a Y to deal with. When you're finding the midpoint on the coordinate plane, you have to find the middle of the X's and the middle of the Y's. So your midpoint is equal to, it's your X sub 1 plus your X sub 2 divided by 2. Because that's always how you find the middle of 2 points, right? And then you also have to find the average of your Y's. So your Y sub 1 plus your Y sub 2 divided by 2. All right, so let's find the midpoint of this segment. We're going to find the midpoint of segment AB. A has coordinates, let's go 2, 8. And B is at 1, 10. And again, to keep this real simple, it doesn't take very long either. Just go here. Here's my x1 and my y1. And here's my x2 and my y2. Then it's just a matter of substitution. So my midpoint is going to be at, I got 2 plus 1 divided by 2. And then I got 8 plus 10. I'm going to divide that by 2. So my midpoint is going to be located at 2 plus 1 is 3 divided by 2, 1.5. 8 plus 10, 18 divided by 2, 9. There's my midpoint. So right in here, my M would be at, well, that doesn't look right, does it? You know why that doesn't look right? This ain't no 110 down here, is it? What should this have been? 10-1. So fix that. That's bad. I apologize. So that means we got to fix it. Let's fix it here. That's 10-1. So now we got to go back and got to fix that, and here we go. Not too bad. So our x's are 2 and 10. And our y's are 8 and 1. So our 2 plus 10 divided by 2 is 8 plus 1 is 9, right? Divided by 2, 4.5. So our middle is at, that looks a little better, 6 and 4.5. Sorry about that, guys. All right, and just like I showed you before, if they give you an endpoint and they give you the middle and they ask you for the other endpoint, you use the same formula. You use the same formula. You find the middle of your, or I'm sorry, you would take your, you could actually take this formula right here, and you could do this for the x's, and then do the same thing for the y's. All right? You'd have to do this formula twice. If they gave you the coordinate of the middle and they gave you one of the x's, you have to find the other x using this formula. You would do the same thing to find the y. If you needed the middle of the y's, you would do y sub 1 plus y sub 2 divided by 2. If you're doing a coordinate plane problem and they give you a segment and they give you the end and the middle, you have to do this formula twice. Right here, you're doing this formula twice. You're doing the first one for the x's and you're doing the second one for the y's. All right. And then let's finish up with one more small discussion here. Here's what we're going to be doing in this example. We're going to find the measure of PQ if Q is the midpoint of PR. And then you get this picture. You get a P, Q, and an R. And then you're told that P to Q is equal to 9y minus 2. And Q to R is 14 plus 5y. And here's where these highlighters work. Find them. Here's what they're asking for. I need the measure of PQ. I need this distance. And that distance is represented by this expression. So what do I need? What information do I need? We need the value of y, don't we? If Q is in the middle, what do you know about 9y minus 2 and 14 plus 5y? If Q is in the middle, isn't this the same as this? Remember tick marks from last week? If those two distances are the same, what do you know about the two expressions? Are they equal to each other? Is 9y minus 2 going to be equal to 14 plus 5y? Very good. So solve for y now. All right, subtract your 5y from each side. So 4y minus 2 equals 14. Add 2 to each side. So 4y equals 16. Divide by 4. And y equals 4. But now that's not what they're asking, is it? Now you got to substitute. P to Q equals 9 times 4 minus 2. So our P to Q equals 36 minus 2. So our PQ equals 34. Any questions on that? Distance and midpoints. All right, so here's your practice for today. We're going to do page 5, 1 through 21. Make sure when you're doing these problems, like today's work, page 5, 1 through 21, that needs to be done on a separate piece of paper. All right? There's a lot of work that needs to be shown. And if I ask you to turn this work in tomorrow, I want to see all your steps for every problem. And if you don't show them to me, then I'm going to give you a 0 on the assignment. So page 5, 1 through 21, you're going to show all your work. I want you doing this work on a separate piece of paper today. All right? And then I want you to be sure that you check focus. for homework questions. I tell you what we're going to do today. You're going to turn this in. You're going to turn this page 5, 1 through 21 in at the end of the period. You're going to put it in that basket up there when the bell rings. It's going to be on a separate piece of paper. It's going to be super neat, super organized, super clean looking. You're going to put your name in the upper right-hand corner of the paper. All right? You people that are at home, you're going to send me a picture at 11:44 of your work. So we are going to put in the basket. You don't need to tear this page out. Don't tear this out. Just leave it in there and do your work on a separate piece of paper. Because as soon as you tear it out, then you're going to lose the back of it. And we may need the back of it later. So just use it like a textbook right now. You don't need to tear it out. So if you're in class, you're going to put it in the basket. As you leave the room, if you're an e-learner, you are going to email a picture you're going to email it at 11:44. I want to know what you have done by 11:44. So if you finish the assignment sooner, email me a picture of your work. If you don't finish the assignment, email me what you have completed at 11:44. Everybody understand the assignment for today? You're going to turn in what you do or send me a picture of it. And then outside of class, you're going to check focus for any homework questions. Those will be related to your notes. All right, at this time, I'm going to end this Zoom meeting, and you e-learners are excused from the meeting. Be sure that you email me a picture of your work. At 11:44 or earlier, at the latest. I guess I'll Zoom you, see you, whatever it's called tomorrow. Have a great day.